What's up, Dual Dwarfs? Alright, so I've got some meetings and shit, and I'm technically still working for all of this week and next week. So I can't make videos all day. But before meetings start and whatnot, look, now it seems like she thought that I was paying her to not do the shitty music video, and that I was paying her, and then she tried to get me to pay her to not do the shitty film. And never once did she say, hey, I'm obligated, or it cost this much, or whatever the fuck. No, she just pouted and bitched and moaned and made a bunch of fake links. That's why the feds are involved and everyone's getting arrested. If she would have said back then, she's obligated until this, that, the other thing, or XYZ is paid off, I would have cashed out some crypto. She never said that. She steals. She nags. She thinks I give a fuck about any of this Korean bullshit. She thinks I give a fuck about Uchiliki and her bots. I don't. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna go make a lot of money. None of you matter. Alright? Tiffany's been holding a grudge because she has a crush on me since 2018. I didn't notice her bullshit. She probably went into debt over it. And I'm supposed to chase her and tell her all these simpy things. I don't give a fuck. Tell Jessica I said, what's up? You are retarded. Anyways. Jessica. Look. Or Crystal. Same thing to me, really. Jessica. If it's true that Tiffany stole your spot in TTS, this is your chance to get back at her. That's all I'm saying. Anyways. Let's watch more of that silver shit.
Handsomely during the 70s, while Bunker's racehorse business did well. Penrod Drilling was expanding all over the world and moving quickly to offshore rigs. Hunt Oil's other holdings were increasing in value as the worldwide price of oil escalated. In March of 1975, Bunker Hunt flew to Tehran to meet with the Shah's brother about purchasing silver. Bunker and Herbert still had their 55 million ounces of silver, and the price was walling around $4 an ounce. In spite of the fact that the boys were a little short on cash at the time, Bunker felt that if Herbert could take on a partner to resume the purchasing of silver, the price would rocket upwards. He met with the Iranian finance minister and suggested that the Pahlavi family invest in several million ounces of silver. The finance minister was not familiar with Bunker and asked him how much money he made. Bunker hesitated because as a private individual he was always downplaying his income as much as possible for tax purposes. He finally said somewhere around $50 million a year he was making. Bunker's hesitation put off the minister and the deal never went through. Not to be discouraged, Bunker set up a meeting with King Faisal of Saudi Arabia in mid-April, but in late March the king was assassinated by his nephew and the meeting never happened. In the fall of 1976, Bunker and Herbert took delivery of 20 million ounces of silver through a public company they controlled called Great Western United. Great Western was a part of H.L. Hunt's food division that mainly dealt in sugar and sugar futures. The brothers quickly devised a swap where Great Western could trade 20 million ounces of silver to the Philippines for sugar for their refineries. The Philippines would then trade the silver to the Saudis for oil. Herbert flew to the Philippines and worked out the deal with President Marcos, but at the last minute the IMF killed the deal. The IMF would not recognize silver as an asset of the Philippine government and would refuse other loans as a result. The deal fell through, and the brothers sold 20 million ounces of silver the next year. Once again, Bunker felt thwarted by the Eastern establishment headed by the Rockefellers. In the spring of 1977, the brothers attempted to take over the largest silver...
See, all they want to do is not use dollars. They still want to do commerce, they still want to do capitalism, they just don't want to use dollars. Just like that rap whore, smut actress, prostitute, didn't want to use words, they just don't want to use dollars.
mine in the United States, the Sunshine Silver Mine, through Great Western United. They succeeded in acquiring 28% of the stock with an option to purchase the balance at a later date. They then turned to another commodity play and invested in soybeans. They were a little short on cash, so they used their silver as collateral. As usual, the brothers went into the market a big way. The legal limit for a single investor was 3 million bushels. The brothers brought in other family members and had a total stake of 22 million bushels. The CFTC cried foul and filed suit against the Hunts. The Hunts claimed that other large families did the same thing to get around the 3 million bushel limit, and since they were not part of the Eastern liberal crowd, they were being unfairly targeted. After the smoke cleared, they still made $40 million profit on their soybean futures. They were fast gaining a reputation for playing fast and loose with the rules concerning the commodities trading. By the late 1970s, the Hunt first family fortune was estimated to be in the range of $6 to $8 billion. In 1978, John Connolly introduced Bunker to a Saudi sheikh at the Mayflower Hotel in Washington. A year later, International Metals Investment was incorporated in Bermuda between Bunker, Herbert, and the two Saudi sheiks. It's speculated that the two Saudi sheiks were actually fronting for a member of the Saudi royal family. In early 1979, the price of silver rose steadily to $8, and the Sunshine Mine deal fell apart. The stockholders demanded more money for the balance of the purchase since the mine was now worth more due to the increase in silver. The Hunts' tender offer failed. They sold their interest back to the management trust. In the summer of 1979, the Hunt brothers started buying silver through the International Metals Investment Group, along with their Saudi partners. Over 43 million ounces of silver contracts were purchased through the COMEX and the CBOT, with delivery to be taken that fall. In the fall of 1979, the price of silver doubled from $8 to $16 in only 2 months. Other syndicates with big money behind them started buying silver. The COMEX and the CBOT started to panic. In 1979, the warehouses of the two exchanges only held 120 million ounces of silver, and that was the amount that was traded in October alone. Many people, including the Hunts through their International Metal Investment Group, were taking delivery on all of their contracts. October 6, 1979, Paul Volcker introduced the first stage of anti-inflationary measures when the Federal Reserve requested that the American banks avoid loans for speculation, especially in commodities. The brothers were starting to fear another confiscation by the United States government, FDR style, since things were coming to a head. Late 1979, the CBOT changed the rules and stated no investor could hold more than 3 million ounces of silver contracts, and the margin requirement was to be raised. All contracts over 3 million ounces per trader must be liquidated by February of 1980. Bunker Hunt accused the COMEX and the CBOT board members of having financial interest in the silver market themselves. Investigations later found that many had substantial silver short positions and were hemorrhaging money as Bunker sought to squeeze the market. Bunker knew that a shortage now existed, or they would not be screaming so loudly. He bought even more. The price on the last day of 1979 was $34.45. At this point, Bunker and Herbert held 40 million ounces in Switzerland and 90 million ounces of bullion they jointly owned through International Metals. In addition to all of that, International Metals had contracts for another 90 million ounces due for March delivery from the COMEX. The younger brother, Lamar, had even entered the arena and had taken a $300 million silver position by the end of 1979. Finally, on January 7th of 1980, the COMEX changed the rules to only allow 10 million ounces of contracts per trader, and that contracts over that amount must be liquidated before February 18th. The CFTC promptly backed up that ruling. On January 17th, silver hit $50 and Bunker continued to buy. At that point in time, the Hunt silver position was worth over $4.5 billion, bringing their profits into silver at $3.5 billion. On January 21st, the COMEX announced that they were suspending trading of silver, they would only accept liquidation orders, and silver dropped $10 an ounce and stayed around $39 until the end of January. Scrap silver, old silver coins, and silverware came into the market, about 22 million ounces in all. In early February, the Hunt Group took delivery of another 26 million ounces from Chicago. The Hunt's North Sea oil through Placid Oil was coming online, and they would be generating $200 million a year from that venture alone. There was also talk of them taking over Texaco Oil. Bunker was also talking with Middle Eastern rulers about putting together another silver buying group. By March 14th, silver was down to $21 an ounce. Paul Volcker had raised interest rates and the dollar had firmed up. This made borrowing to speculate on silver even more expensive. International Metals held 60 million ounces of future contracts. Their margin call on those contracts amounted to more than $10 million a day. Bunker still believed that it would go back up if he could only promote more buying. He scrambled around Europe looking for a buying partner, but the more the price dropped, the harder it was to borrow money against his silver holdings to buy even more silver to hold the price up. Finally, on March 25th of 1980, the Hunt brothers ran out of cash. Bunker, Hunt, and Herbert simply said, "Shut it down."
And then there's part 2. How much time?
Herbert promptly told his...
We'll watch part 2 later. I don't feel like I'm gonna probably go do other shit now. But what it comes down to is, as I suspected, and as I said in the very beginning, this dumb bitch just wanted money. She thinks it's some... Look, if she's an actor, be an actor. I don't give a fuck. You don't need me. You don't need to nag me, yell at me, stalk me for years, all that bullshit to be an actor. It seems like you bothering me is actually interfering with your acting career. So I'm going to do the right thing and let you go be an actor, actress, whatever the fuck. Go be in more Rick Ross videos. I don't give a shit. I don't need used goods in my life. I thought you were being pimped out one way. You were being pimped out 2 ways. You fake out pimped yourself out so I would get distracted so you could go do some fucking prostitute Asian smut bullshit. You're a whore. I don't want you. I'm not a used goods dealer. I'm not a used cars dealer. I don't need used goods.